Just trying to give.
Hey guys! So wait a minute, we are live. Hold on. Let me not kill my excitement, because listen, I'm loving my excitement these days, So guys, wait a minute. You have just tuned into And Let's Digest. This is your girl, Deidre, and we have the pleasure of having a special guest tonight, Miss Jada Robinson. Let's welcome her. Yes, we're going to get that together. Effects, you guys, you love me, right? So before we get into it and digest this thing, guys, you already know the routine, right? Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that your bell is highlighted so that anytime I post new content or go live, you guys will get the notification, i.e. not missing out on the shoots. Hello. So guys, tonight we have entitled this Living Life Young and in Love. Because, maybe, I don't know what you guys are thinking. How can I be talking? Listen, I'm young at heart. And if I'm not young anymore, I was at one point. So what better perspectives than from the ones who have walked down that road before? Hello. Another point. Listen. Okay. So tonight, guys, we're literally going to address being young, living life, because we know that, as children, when we're under our parents' roof, things are different. We have to live life according to somebody else's terms and rules, which is okay, because I'm a parent, and children, listen to your parents, okay? Parents, I'm trusting that you're not steering them wrong. So they are your responsibility, our responsibility as a village, if you believe in that. And so the topic, talking about this tonight, i.e., maybe I'm not a young adult anymore, but I brought along someone who is. And just being able to watch her move a little bit over the past year or so, I felt like it would be good for her to bring her perspectives to the table, which are fresh, young, and definitely up to speed of the society today. So I want to just share a little bit of research with you guys as to why I want to address this, why I feel like it should be addressed, and a topic that we all kind of digest together, because again, at some point we're either a young adult or we have the privilege, the honor of being in the life of a young adult. And as much as this is for the young adults, it is also for the parents and the elders, so that we can kind of keep up with our young generation. We talk about that. So very important. They are our future. So guys, if you give me a second, I'm just going to read why I think this is important, right? So, living life for most of us, and I'll just say this is just my personal opinion right now, but for most of us, being young is all about living life, right? But have we truly been living life according to our own identity, or the ones we adopted? In tonight's discussion, we will be addressing being young, in love, and living life on your terms. Yes, research finds that pros of dating at young age can be a positive experience. You can learn more about the opposite gender. You can get to know your ideal type, also helping them to learn more about themselves and who they really are. Also make you potentially more mature in a sense. Parents, listen, give it a little bit. I know that you're saying, hey, first of all, are they old enough to know what love is? Well, sometimes us older ones don't know what love truly is. Toes, maybe? Okay. I don't know. Listen, I'm just being completely transparent. You know how we do here, right? So the cons could be you'll be extremely busy, money issues, tough breakups, and disapproving parents. However, with all that being said, as of 2022, Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of all young adults are single, 34% of women, and a whopping 63% of men. Now, I just want you guys to sit with that information, and we're just going to get into this topic. And first, it'll be, first of all, Jada, I introduced you guys to her. I let you know her name is Miss Jada Robinson.
Yes.
Happy to have her here with us. So we're going to let her start off by just telling us a little bit about herself. Miss Jada, all you.
Okay, so my name is Jada. And,
hopefully you guys can hear her. I don't know why she being shy today.
I'm 20. My birthday is August 13th. I'm a Leo. But I want to know, you know. I was born in New York. I grew up and was raised in Manning, South Carolina. I got a younger brother and sister. I'm the oldest.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Which is also very important to be having this conversation because you have younger siblings who will soon be following in your footsteps as become. Yes. 13. Oh, 13. Starting. Oh, yeah. That crucial age where she's deciding whether I like boys or I don't. Yeah. 2 years ago, they were stank little boys and ill. Guys, listen, your girl is sweating today. She has a little medication in her. But anywho, that is very important. And thank you for telling us about yourself. Again, very, very important. She just stated that she has a little sister and a little brother. We're not going to make this topic more so about the girls than we are about the boys because I have a boy. Did I also mention to you guys that Miss Jada is my son's girlfriend? She is. However, even though any advice that I give her from a woman's standpoint first. And then as a mom, not my son's mom, because any information that I give either of them in their relationship is for both of them. It's not for one and not for the other. I will tell her, listen, don't take no junk off my boy either just because he's my boy and I'm his mama. I am a woman first. So that is also very important in showing the young adults, showing them how to be aware of themselves in any situation, especially in friendships and relationships. And friendships are relationships. So I think having your identity is so important, regardless on whether you're in a relationship or just friends, which is still a relationship. So, Jada, since you've told us a little bit about yourself, did I know you was in New York?
I thought I told you.
Possibly. I'm not a young adult anymore. Sometimes my mind goes a little blank. Okay. I was wondering though. So now I'm thinking, and maybe this is just stereotype. I'm thinking, okay, you grew up in New York. Maybe you saw, it is the fast life compared to the country. To this, yeah, it definitely is. So maybe you, I don't want to say you saw or experienced different things. I don't know. I won't say that. But she's from the New York. Okay, girl. So, with all that being said, I know that we all now know that she's young, right? So there's excitement. We know that there's excitement of having fun and partying and doing all the things that you couldn't do maybe as a teenager in mom's house.
Grown up,
grown up. I'm trying not to say the grown up in case mom is watching. Listen, they will always be our babies, but we groom them, we prepare them to eventually grow up because we know that they're not going to be kids forever, right?
Right.
So my question for you now is because of, now that you get to have the excitement or come and go and no rules and simply making your own decisions, would you say having a relationship is top tier in those things that young adults step out in the world to do?
I would say I don't think it's top tier. I just think it gives you more leniency than what you had. Well, than what I had growing up with my mom. It wasn't real strict, but it was, to be home at this time. I got your location. When I call, you answer type stuff.
Right.
And then when you move out and you with your significant other, it's more so like, yeah, we can do the location thing if you want to. I'll call you and check on you. Just text me when you make it there. So yeah, it's more leniency for sure.
Gotcha. But it sounds like even though there's more leniency, you still, have that respect, have those boundaries. And I think that's the difference in, I think that's one of the main things that we try to scare our kids out of is a relationship when they're young and in the house, right? Guys, I don't have my fans tonight. So I think that's one of the things we normally scare. I remember scaring some girl. Listen, I remember a summer and my son had a little girlfriend. And I think it was like the first year of middle school. And it was summertime. And they talked all the time. But here goes summer. And I decided to put him on punishment. Listen, I answered that phone when she called. He on punishment for the rest of the summer. Possibly the rest of the year. Okay. Don't call no more. I did. She did. I ain't even gonna tell no world to tell. So it seems like because that is one of the strictest things that us parents try to keep our kids from. I think that's one of the main things that they try to test the waters on, shall I say? Because like she said, if I was out with my friend, my boo, that I had to, have still rules. I couldn't be so, and now I can show boo that, hey, I can stay out. Where we going? Yeah. Going to the movies, then dinner, and then, where else we going? What we doing? Those things. Jada, could you hand me that towel right there? Yes, guys, because I don't want to. Hey, this is transparency. We late night and relaxing. And your girl is trying to fight cooties, germs, cold. So she's a little extra warm tonight. But anywho, besides all that, let's get back to it. So it seems that you still have those things. So I like that. And I can concur with a little bit of that. I felt like when I first moved out, I won't say unfortunately, for me, my circumstances were different. I left home with a mouth to feed. So I had already had a baby, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, when I get my first apartment, when I got my first apartment, I was probably almost 2 years into being out of school. I think it was like my first year and a half of being graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. And I was ready to have a home for my child to go to. And I just knew it was going to be about partying every day. Friends would come over. Mm-hmm. I had a kid, so the baby daddy was free to come and go as the son's father was free to come and go as he pleased, as I allowed. But I get it. And then, once you get out, it's kind of like bummer because the fun ended still at 9:00.
Exactly.
I love that. Faithfully. See, parents, so there's no need to sweat. When they get out of the house, right, they ain't really having the fun they thought it was going to have. Exactly. So they are young and they are stepping into life, but there are some reservations. If mom and dad has raised them as such, I know that environments are different. And some kids leave out of the household partying with parents. However, I'm not here to judge. That is all cool. And maybe even when they step out into that, maybe they still calm down. I mean, let's just say I had older sisters and brothers, and they did take me to the club a couple of times. Maybe that's why I thought I was going to party, and I really didn't party. So, okay, I didn't party in the beginning. I did party. Okay. So, has being in a relationship in any way, or shape or form, I understand that you still have boundaries when it comes to mom and respect and all those things, which I'm so happy that you do. I think if you didn't, I would have been already told you. Hello. But has that caused you, because when you're young, you leave home, it's still the decisions of, am I going to go to school? Am I going to find, something that I really like and indulge in? Am I going to go in the military? What am I, am I going to just be a fashionista or a social media girl, social media model? I don't know. But has being in a relationship, because we are talking about young adults in relationships, right? Mm-hmm. So has being in a relationship caused you in any way to relax, or to kind of be reserved about things when it came to you personally?
Okay. So I would say it's more so of, in a sense, I'm more relaxed when it comes to certain things. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Let's just mention at least one of the certain things, and I'll talk about me because again, I was a young adult. So for me, I'd say when I first got out of the house, even though I had a mouth to feed, right? I had a baby already.
But trust me, my mom was still very, very strict. So I was definitely under rules while having a child trying to create rules for him. So I know for me, when I first, I graduated high school and I was doing my own thing, I decided, it was school because I still had rules, even though I had a parent. I mean, I was a parent. My parents still told me I had to go to college or go in the military. It was just one or two. And so I chose school because I had to do something. But because I had a youngin and he had a father that had his own place, sometimes I would skip class. Now, I'll get to that part next, and I'll probably sneak that little question in there. So I would probably be more quick to kind of ditch class. I'd be like, okay, him and the baby at home. I want to go home with them. Yeah. I don't want to stay here in class. So have you maybe even relaxed on some things like that? Or possibly, I know you like doing hair and stuff. Like I told you, make sure always you're perfecting your craft or working on your craft and your skills. Have you found that you've even maybe relaxed, just maybe tell me just one thing that you possibly relaxed on?
Well, I wasn't really much of a go out person. Like, I don't really do parties or clubs, none of that. But I used to go to games and stuff like that in high school, around that type of thing. Maybe an after party or two. But I definitely relaxed on like going out places and doing more than what I was doing.
Well, one of the cons were losing friends when you're in a relationship. So is that maybe what you relaxed on? Maybe Pam?
I definitely lost some friends, but I feel like it wasn't for no reason. Like everything happens for a reason. So maybe I feel like I outgrew what they were still doing and focusing on and like surrounding ourselves with. So like just moved on. But it's all for the better.
Okay.
I like a couple ones.
Listen, okay.
But yeah.
I like that. I like that. Now, for me, on the other hand, I held tight to them friends.
Okay.
I held on real tight for a long time. But when it came to the things that I was relaxed, and again, while relationships may not be all bad, it depends on who you're in that situation with. Because for me, now, even days that I call myself wanting to skip class, when I get to the house, he'd be happy to see me for a second. They both be happy to see me for a second. Then after a while, like, ain't you supposed to be in class? Like, you better go home back to class. I'm like, I left my mom and daddy at home. What are you doing?
Okay.
So sometimes, having a relationship or being in a relationship isn't bad because it depends on how you mesh with the person that you're with. Sometimes you guys can push each other for better. Sometimes, even if the other is not asking. Now, when I ask, do you relax on things? It's never because the person, or it's not always because the person asks you to relax on something or to leave your friends alone.
Right.
I get it. Some relationships are like that, which is also why we're bringing awareness to this topic. But they sometimes, it's just because I think you learn that it's about who you're becoming,
right,
versus who you're with, because we know that being in a relationship don't always sit us still or keep us from the after parties. Because honey, I was going to pick the girlfriends up. They've been coming. He knew I'd make sure y'all good, and we out.
Okay.
We is out, honey. So it's different. Times have changed. Things are different. And I just noticed, for me, why I felt like it was important to have this conversation is because I look at some young, maybe I look at some, I don't know, I possibly, and I don't want to be biased, but possibly look at girls more, young girls more. More so because I'm a woman. I was a young girl. And I know for me, I can say sometimes when we start off very, very young, in relationships or being tied to one person, and I think it was so sweet to say, hey, I married my high school sweetheart. That's sweet. Like, I'm never going to say that's a bad thing. But I married him and we were together since we were in the third grade. It happens. And sometimes when I look at young kids in relationships or what they feel like are courtships, it's courtships, right? Because when they're yet that young, courtship. You just said your sister is 13, right?
Yeah.
She's in a courtship. Tell her she is not in a relationship just yet.
Exactly.
So she's courting, right? But these days, kids are different. And a lot of times, if I look at little girls and I feel like they're signing themselves up for something that they don't even understand the depths of it.
Right.
I've had a young girl say to me one day, that's my guy. That's my I'm gonna ride for him. And I'm looking like, okay, where y'all going? Where y'all riding to? Cause what are you doing? And just the way that she said it and the way she feels about him already, thinks she feels. Television and social media help give them the emotions that they have as well. I truly honestly believe that. And I'm saying, no, not so deep, not just yet, not that deep. I've even told Jada and my son, listen, and I think when I first met you, I said this to you. Don't ever think, you're with someone, you love them, you respect them, you hope to grow into something way more, especially, you're young, you're 20. But never make that your end all be all.
Yeah.
Because the person that's really going to matter is you in any situation. And when it comes to him, the person that matters is him. You care, you respect each other, but you have to know that you have a life to live. And if there's no balance there, like I got really scared and nervous and not really knowing how to respond to a little girl telling me, I'm gonna ride with him, I'm gonna ride for him. That's my boo.
Too fast.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just think that there's some things or some awareness that are some things we just need to talk about and address, even with our younger ones, before they enter young adulthood, because this perspective may not be the same, or it may not be this topic of discussion may not be plated the same way it's plated for Jada. The way she digested it or is digesting could possibly be different from the way that you have to digest once your child becomes her age. And we pray that by the time they're my age, they have figured a lot of things out about themselves, which helps them in return realize what kind of relationships they want to be involved in. Definitely. Whether it's friend, family, boyfriend, girlfriend, however, whatever. Once you learn yourself, it's all about being in relations, right? Relationships. It's about yourself. Because you're bringing yourself in the space of somebody else, and so the most important thing is knowing ourselves. So I like that. So just okay, one last question. Let's just say, knowing what you know now, and then knowing the things that we've talked about, and I'm saying this because we've had some conversations, kind of a let's catch up type conversation this past weekend. And I listened to you. I always listen. And I was very pleased that, even the things, like I said, I don't know whether you and your mom, I know y'all talk often. And I know your grandma and granddad is very present in your life. And so I was very pleased to hear some of the things that you were saying, and how even the moves that you and my youngin, my handsome young man have been making, or decisions, and everybody seems cool with it. It doesn't seem pressured. It doesn't seem like it is a had to, because we was about to choke each other to death. Unfortunately, in relationships, very young relationships, there can be abuse. There can be substance abuse together, experiencing things as young adults or young teenagers. There can also be physical abuse, because one does not know who they truly are, and so they accept things that may feel like something different. So knowing all the things that you've known and did all that, do you feel better about the moves that you are making as a young woman coming into her own?
I do. I do, because it's like, as I get older, I say this like I'm about to say this like I'm so much older, but I'm only 20. As I experienced, well,
yeah,
I ain't jumped off the porch young, but I was a youngin doing maybe teenage girl things like follow. Okay, so I had friends at school, but I also very family oriented. So I got older cousins, and my older cousin had friends, and so I was always hanging out with them. So a lot of stuff I did experience early on, and so I think that changed my mindset around a lot of the things that's going on now. Like certain things, like people just starting to do like all this drinking and going out and partying and stuff. It's like been there, done that. I don't like get past it. I go out every now and then now, but yeah, definitely though. Yeah, it's
how about even the moves that you're making, and that's coming into your own. And I would say have any of those moves, because that's still coming into your own, have any of those moves been different for your relationship?
The relationship, it shouldn't have, but it prolongs some of the things. But like I said, I tend to be like everything happens for a reason. So maybe it didn't work out this time. So when it works out this time, it's bigger and better. But it prolongs some things, but then getting back into action, getting back how I could. Certain things I stopped prioritizing because of the relationship. I could say that, but that's why it's very important on not losing focus of the things you want because you got in a relationship. And I had to learn that. That definitely was, yeah. But
that was a tip. Y'all heard that? Did y'all catch that? I think Jen she was looking at y'all, but she was looking at me. We're just talking and vibing. Listen, I love that you said that. And why I asked you that was because literally, like I said, we just did a little catch up this past weekend. And guys, when I first met Jada, when she first came along into our life, I couldn't see my son without seeing her. I'm talking, I don't care. I don't listen. If I put him if he happened to be sitting outside of the car, and I'm thinking he by himself, where's Jada?
Right here in the passenger seat.
I'm talking no break, no space, no nothing. It was just that, and maybe that's cute now because I haven't caught up, Papa. But now, okay, right now, just listening to her tell me about her moves and the things that she wants to do. I think it started, and I don't want to be telling y'all business, but I just remember asking my son a couple months ago. I'm like, okay, it's day 2, and I'm spending time with you, and there's no Jada. Which now I appreciate the time that I get with him because I enjoy that now. I always enjoyed it, but enjoy getting back to it, since they're young adults. So we don't want to crowd their space all the time. So I'm like, okay, I've been with you 2-3 days, possibly, and I ain't seen Jada. What's going on? Nothing. She's at home. We're good. I'm going down there tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Think nothing of it. It's cool. And so I eventually decided to ask Jada here recently. And again, even when I asked him, I mentioned that to him, I left that alone. I'm not a prying mother. Even if I'm disapproving, at this age, they have to catch some things on their own. I can give them all the tips and advice that I possibly can. But nothing is by force, because we do know the more we force things, the more it happens, right? So I said nothing. And then here we go, a week ago, me and Jada decided to talk. And I'm like, okay, well, what you been doing, girl? What you got going on? And she tells me, and now I think, yeah, Jada always, you will get jobs and all that stuff. And let me tell you one thing about her and my son. I'll honestly say this. They are hustlers. They will make their money. Listen, Jada, I went up there today to talk to them, and my son is changing the tires on the truck. And guess who cut the grass? So they gonna make it happen, and I'm proud of them for that, because I am. That's a part of being a young adult and being responsible, and not calling home all the time and every time, but being able to do some things on your own. So we were talking, and she just told me some of the things that she was doing. that she's working now, even though it's close to home. So since work is close to home, she stays home more. Mm-hmm. Smart girl. I would have tried. I would have had a car. Well, I know you having some car issues, and that don't stop you and my boy. But so me, I had a car. And listen, I don't care if I didn't have a car back then. I probably would have made it. Listen, I'll map out my time to work, and I'll get there. But kids, don't be me. That was back in the day. Don't do those things. Prioritize, like Jada just said. And so now listening to her talk about the things that she's doing and working on, and I won't tell everything, but just being a young adult. And nothing that she told me had anything to do with my son. That made me proud, even prouder, because it tells me that even though they have been together and it's been 2 years? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Over 2 years that they've been together, and while I might have thought that, and others might have thought that they were just wasting their time together, just being together all the time. Well, they were still getting things done. And because, there was nobody dictating and all those things, and she got to actually see, they both got to see and experience what that was like. Cohabitating possibly with others, not with me, not with mama, but cohabitating alone. That now that decisions that she's making is solely because of things that she wants out of life. And I'm super duper proud, and I think that is very important. I think that's the end goal in any relationship, whether, again, if it's your family, friends, or boyfriend, girlfriend. Being in a relationship, yeah, you get caught up in the making the other person happy, or them making you happy, or y'all spending time together. Because listen, I told you guys, I probably spent more time with my friends, my girlfriends, which, like Jada just said, it was probably one friend and 2 cousins, because I didn't do others much. And so all the time I spent more time with them probably than I did my son's father. Because we ain't missed out on no hanging time. Listen. Okay. But after a while, that even that allowed me to see who I was as a person. And so having this topic of discussion, I felt like was very, very needed, very, very important, because too many times, or oftentimes, I'm glad that research shows that the relationships aren't that deep nowadays, but maybe some things haven't been reported because it seems like everybody has a girlfriend. Right. Or maybe they are just girlfriend, boyfriend, all of that. So maybe it's good that they're not labeling it as a committed thing, because it also tells me that they have room or they can see other things in their life. And unfortunately, when we get tied down to a relationship, whether it's your friend, because we know friends kind of even up with boyfriends and girlfriends, right? Mm-hmm. We don't want to let them go. They're our happy place. We want to keep them around. But it shows that at a certain point in life, being in a relationship teaches you a lot about yourself. It teaches you a lot about things that you want to do or don't want to do. So while us parents may feel like, hey, they're too young, they don't even know what love is. Again, what is love, and what is considered to you to be love? There's different meanings, or should I say different perspectives for different people. There is always the textbook definition, but how you perceive something is totally different. The love that I found now, that the relationship that I'm most proud of right now is the relationship with myself, and giving myself love and feeling a certain way. So I can truly say that I'm in love with myself now. Hey, so I love it. And I thought this was very, very good to talk about. So Jada, we thank you for coming by and sweating with your, yes. I don't know what you called it. Listen, we're going to have, I'm waiting, let her answer that off camera. Ma? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Madu. Yeah. I saw that number popped up somewhere on a notification. I'm like, on TikTok. I'm like, who is it? User 5678205. my Duxio contacts. I'm like, got to be my boy, but it might have been this one. And I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with her calling me that. I think I'm cool with that. Because, you know, when you first came around, what did I ask you? You sure you going to stick around? You going to be here long?
Yeah. It's like, we plan on being around for a long time. I think he said just like that. So.
and what did you say?
As long as I can. I think I said as long as I possibly can.
She said, yeah. Then she said, as long as I can. Which tells me that if something came along that wasn't good or healthy for her, that she will walk away.
Definitely.
I want the same thing for my son. And so why wouldn't I want it for somebody else's daughter? Yeah. So that's another thing. Parents, others, just because your children are in relationships, make sure that whatever good advice you give them isn't just for them, it's for the others too. Because most time their worry is for the other person. And if you want someone to worry about yours, you worry about theirs. Vice versa, you know, just, I don't know, circle of love.
Yeah.
I was going to say life, but I think love fit more perfectly. So the circle of love, we give love, we get love. The love we get is always given to someone else, you know, all that stuff. So guys, I think we've been on here long enough, and I think we kind of chopped it up and gave our perspectives on relationship and being young and living life, whether it's your friends, whether it's going out, partying, whatever. And how it all brings you back 10 times fold of living out your truth as who you are or who you're going to be in life, which is very, very important. And relationships teach us that. I'll say that again. It teaches us that. Our relationship with our teachers teach us something. So take heed to relationships. Take heed to being young. Live your life. Be fun. Have fun. Be safe. Always. But always pay attention to you. Know what to prioritize in and what not to.
Never lose that self-love. Always let that be your number one focus. Like, a relationship is cool, but that's not the number one priority. It shouldn't be. It should be self. Let self be first. And then whatever you want after that, family, relationship, however you put it, whatever matters to you more. But yeah, definitely let self be first.
Well, before I could even ask if she had any advice for you guys, she already gave it. And I think that was great advice. So young adults, take note, take heed. If you didn't catch the message, go back and rewatch this again. Guys, that's been it. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Can't wait till the next conversation. Tune in with us on Friday. Well, I don't think it'll be Jane. I think she'll be back home. Yeah. But it's cool because she's going to handle her business. Guys, it's been our pleasure. Love you all. Until next time, be blessed and love on each other, no matter what relationship you're in.
Okay.